Hey Shutterbugs, welcome back. We are on week number 5 of our virtual Shutterbugs Cellphone Edition program. I hope you guys are having a blast taking lots of photos and learning a lot of new things about how to use your phone and your camera. So let's get started on this week's photography adventure. So what is perspective? Perspective refers to the dimension of objects and the spatial relationships between them. I know this sounds complicated, but this is something you guys understand and you play around with without even knowing it when you take photos. We already kind of touched on this in our previous photo about composition. A good way to look at your perspective is to take the same photo, but take it from different angles. So let's say we find a tree that we like. We are going to photograph that tree from below, from above, from left, from right, from underneath, from above, all different ways. And we need to make sure that in addition to moving our camera, we're also moving our feet because our perspective changes when our body changes. There's a photo I found online of the same arch in Utah. The photographer took this photo from 2 different points, changing the perspective and making it look like a completely different picture. Think about this when you're taking your photos. What perspective is the best? Think about the lines in your photos. Again, we touched on this a little bit in our composition week, but think about the lines like railroad tracks. If you were to go out and photograph the railroad tracks, the further away from you that they get in the photo, it almost looks like they are touching. That's perspective. Check out this photo I took the other week while we were hiking. The bridge was a perfect example of perspective. Sometimes when you take a photo, you'll use perspective to put certain things in the foreground and other things in the background. It's a really fun way to play around with and frame your photos by using perspective. In this photo, I used the leaves in the foreground to frame the portrait in the background. Again, perspective. Another fun thing to do with perspective is distort it. I'm going to show you some really cool photos where people distort a perspective. These photos are just fun to take. Pretend you're lifting that giant golf ball, or maybe you can fit the Eiffel Tower in between your fingers. Have fun with perspective. Distorting perspective is a fun way to get a really cool photo and make people say, what was going on there? All right, friends, it's time for your photo challenge. This week, I want you to go out there and distort some perspective. Take a really cool photo and distort the perspective just like in the examples that we saw. When you're done, you are going to take that photo, you're going to email it to the address below, and you're going to include your name and location so that we can put it in an online Shutterbugs photo gallery. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Club, One Camp, so that you don't miss any of the fun things that are going on with the Boys and Girls Club. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have lots of fun and take lots of perspective photos.